Oh, you must not know me. Welcome to my page. You're going to get to know me real quick, okay? So, we don't judge in my household. We don't judge on my page. We don't judge in my house. I'm not one of those people that pretends to be something I'm not on social media and then it's something different behind closed doors. This is me, all right? So, let me just give you a little background, okay? I don't judge my daughter because I believe as a parent, and a good way to build a good relationship with them is accepting them for who they want to be, not who you want them to be. I used to dance. Yeah. And you know why I stopped? It's because even though I have a passion for dancing and I've been doing it since I was yay high, I walked up in there and got a whole reality check. That shit is not easy. And if you haven't done it, you can't speak on it because you have no idea what it takes. All right? It takes a level of strength, skill, talent, and intelligence. Okay? Oh, and did I mention that they make almost double, sometimes triple, what someone makes as a 9 to 5 in a regular career? Yeah, so I would never shame my daughter for doing that. In fact, half them hoes can probably bench press your weak ass. So I don't even know why you talking shit. And I guarantee anytime you don't get kitty or you in the mood and you just ain't getting that, you go to a strip club. So again, don't know why you talking shit. Okay. If she came to me and told me that that's what she wanted to do, I would tell her two things. I would say, number one, make sure you're doing it because you want to, not because you have to. I don't want you going to bed every night hating yourself after you start doing it. Not everybody is built for that industry. First and foremost, okay? Number two, if you're going to do it, you're going to go all the way. You're going to be one badass dancer. You're going to be the type of dancer that people pay to bring to clubs, okay? And then you're going to get me in and give me a bottle. I'm going to throw some money. But anyways, I would never judge my daughter for doing something that she wanted to do. There is so much that people don't understand about that industry. I have the utmost respect. That shit is not easy. I may or may not go back. I don't know. I haven't decided. But anyways, we don't judge in my house. Have a nice day.
This bitch thought really claimed that taking off her clothes took intelligence, skill, and strength as if it was playing a professional sport or doing some type of trade. If your daughter becomes an adult entertainer, that's a good indicator that you failed as a parent. The strip club has a lot of BJs in the back parking lot for the customers who are willing to pay extra. Almost no adult entertainers don't end up doing some type of actual prostitution. And the clueless women in the comments are clueless as well. Dude, I wish I had the skills because I would seriously dance. It sounds so fun and adventurous. Yes, mama, that's right. I do the same with my children. I have a 15-year-old daughter that's unapologetically herself. She dresses like a tomboy and is so unique. Feel sorry for that daughter who has a tomboy phase, but the parents are gonna think she's trans and do irreversible damage to her. Of course, a simp encourages this degeneracy. I'm a man and I had that utmost respect for all of them 2 days absolutions cause I understand. Yes, 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 girl, preach. Dancers are one of the most fit people you will ever meet. Many women will not only do it for money, but to stay fit. There's many other ways to stay fit without being a degenerate, like rollerblading, using the gym, or even walking to name a few. But these modern women will rationalize anything. These types of moms will end up being a bestie to their daughter and going to clubs with them, instead of being an actual parent. Guarantee she may even try to cheat with one of her daughter's boyfriends, because these single moms end up competing with their daughters, as they're secretly jealous and wish they were 21 again. This is what happens when a man values looks above everything else.
Guys, I found my old iPod and there's a letter that I wrote my mom that I never sent to her, but I want to show you guys how mean she was when I was in 5th grade. I titled it Why, and it's Dear Mom. I've learned from a young age that you can't depend on anyone. I've never told you that my biggest disappointment in you was my 5th grade graduation. Waking up that morning to find no one in the house to help me get ready, going to school with my other brother's dress shirt and pair of jeans, walking to school thinking that maybe this was a joke or something. It wasn't. My teacher, Ms. McCann, and my classmates thought I was having fun and trying to be the class clown. I went along with it so I didn't have to tell them the truth. As we were getting ready to walk in the gym, I stood there thinking to just leave and not deal with the disappointment. I decided to take a chance. We all got to our chairs and started to sing those cheesy songs. I was too busy looking around to see if you came. Wanted to see my mom cheer me on. I didn't see you, but I hoped that maybe, just maybe, you would come by the time they called my name. Every kid before me that got called, their parents clapped and cheered for them. This is how mine went. My principal calls out my name. I stand up and look, but I still can't find you. Do you know how that made me feel? I felt alone. I felt unloved, like I didn't even matter. I was holding my tears back and just pushed it to the side. But it wasn't over. It was the time when parents take pictures with their kids and teachers. Were my pictures, you ask? Don't have any of that day. I walked around the school until the dance started and the parents left, so I wouldn't have to answer any questions. The dance was okay, but I really didn't want to be there. I was mad at you. I wanted to go home and ask you why. But when that time came, I had a choice. Ask you and know the truth or forget it, and just move on. So I chose to move on, and from that day I made a promise to myself. Never let anyone in my life, people just let you down. It goes on, but I don't want to take up all the time.
He didn't mention his mom worked in the letter, so it seems she chose not to be there for him. Either she was on drugs, was screwing someone, or just didn't care. How much do you want to bet that the courts gave this mom who doesn't care full custody? There might be a father who does care but can only see the kids at a supervised visitation because his mom wants the maximum child support. Top comment: this broke my heart. My mom didn't come to my high school graduation. It still hurts 17 years later. Most modern women should never become moms. Heartbreaking. Every child needs security and stability, but most of all, they need compassion and love. I'm so sorry she was like this. This hit home. My parents never came to band concerts, sports games, middle school and high school graduation, etc. This is what modern career women do to their kids. They think their PR career is much more important than raising the future generations. The extra BMW she drives is more important than working less or not at all to actually see their own kids grow up.
I've been divorced almost 10 years. When she left, she took the oldest and the youngest, which were girls. The middle child, my boy, you've seen him on TikTok with me. He's been with me since day one. Moved 1,200 miles away. Now, him and his mama don't get along because she abandoned him. That's their problem, not mine. It's my birthday, and 12:30 this morning, we were all piling up to go out repo, and the first thing my son did was tell Pops, happy birthday. I haven't heard from my girls. I probably won't. But every time my daughters have called me needing money, Dad's always PayPal'd it. Dad always gives. And I'm not going to stop. I'm always going to do it. But it'd just be nice if they would, on my birthday for once, call me and say happy birthday.
The single mom has already taught her daughters to use men for money. And in the future, they're going to wonder why they can't find a good man or why they're always single. All they have to do is say happy birthday, which takes 5 seconds at the most. The father needs to put his foot down and stop giving them money because he's encouraging this behavior. Happy birthday. The girls will come to realize who was actually there when they get older, and they'll then make the effort. Enjoy your boy and birthday. Sadly, the single mom brainwashed them to think that they deserve his money because she told him it was the father who abandoned them, not the other way around. Although the father did move 400 miles away, but the ex could have been too toxic to deal with. Yeah, that's a heartbreaker. I understand. Men have feelings too. And not that they should be super emotional, but usually they're used up because they're looked at as expendable. Not a person who has needs, wants, and fears. Happy birthday. I'm sorry. I wish parents didn't use their kids against the other parents. It's literally the worst thing to do to a child. It really sounds whoever has a relationship with the daughters is gonna have a headache dealing with either one. 2 more man-hating women who will ruin more men's lives.
Teens over in the Rio Grande Valley, they are now charged with murder. This is for killing a man that they say police wouldn't do anything about, despite already having warrants for his arrest. Are they cold-blooded killers, or were their actions justified in defense of their little sister? Jonathan Martin making the case with attorney Charles Adams.
Capital murder because Quintanilla was kidnapped, right, when he was taken in the back of the F-150 and dropped off somewhere else.
The story of 2 teen brothers in South Texas arrested for beating their stepfather to death for allegedly sexually abusing their half-sister has a lot of people talking. They were apparently so enraged at their stepfather, Gabriel Quintanilla, they, along with their friend, confronted him at a home, beat him before attacking him 2 more times at another location, reportedly with brass knuckles, then dumping his body in a field where he was found dead. Clearly a crime, but was it justified?
As in, if you are the defense attorney in this situation, What you're arguing is that there are these mitigating circumstances, the rape of their very young, small child, little sister, by their evil stepfather.
Quintanilla did have a warrant out for continual sexual abuse of another child. I asked attorney Charles Adams if that history could help a defense.
Well, certainly it bolsters the perception that he was rightfully accused, right? Because it was a different victim. So now you have two young children claiming that they were sexually assaulted by this man, right? And if these two brothers and the friend were aware, I think it provides a rationale, a justification that a lot of people can understand.
But the teens are facing serious charges, including murder and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. While some might understand their motivation, others argue killing someone in a situation like this is never okay. But what might a jury say? Charles says while a long shot, a jury nullification argument might be the best option for a defense.
Where you as a lawyer look at the jury and say, hey, we understand that this meets the elements, but we're asking you to find them not guilty anyway, because no one, I don't think there's anyone in America that can't sympathize with two brothers acting the way they did in response to someone who had violently raped their little sister.
The stepfather had warrants for doing this in the past, and still he was allowed to see the single mom's kids more than the actual father. These three teens are heroes, and sadly, they did more to protect their sister than the actual police. Top comment states, the fact that the stepfather was already previously in court for molesting another child is crazy. As a survivor, I stand with these boys. Free them. They did what the law never does. Yet, the single mom didn't care, as long as he provided. Unbelievable that kids have to defend kids because adults won't do anything. As long as the anti-family courts get child support, they don't care what happens to the kids. If you lock them up, you're sending the wrong message. You're teaching abusers it's okay to harm children and no one can do anything to stop you. Let this be an example to all predators around the world. Where are the Me Too marches for the daughter and justice for her brothers? Oh, that's right. The feminists hate it when people defend themselves. They want the state to have sole rights of deadly force.
And frustration from dozens of Clayton County parents who say their children are going hungry tonight after their food stamps were suddenly cut off. Fox 5's Justin Gray is at the live desk with the story that is all new tonight on The Edge. Justin.
Tom, state officials admit to me tonight that something went wrong down in Clayton County at the office that administers food stamps and Medicaid, but they're still not sure what. Parents tell me tonight they can't buy food without those food stamps.
This food stamp card ain't got number 17 cents on it.
Terry Clark says she stood in line for more than 6 hours at Clayton County's Human Services office because food stamp help for her 6 children unexpectedly ended.
There's no telling my kids that we can't eat. I'm not taking no because my babies don't deserve that. Nobody kids should go hungry down here in Georgia.
State officials say this office was overwhelmed today with dozens of families facing a similar problem. The food stamps just not there.
Me and my kids, they haven't ate since this morning. And I was supposed to get my food stamps yesterday and I didn't get nothing.
So they was getting angry. They started banging on the windows.
A state spokesperson tells me what happened here today was out of the ordinary and it was unexpected, but they say they're not sure what exactly went wrong. What was the glitch that led to this mess?
Our budgets have not increased. They've been actually decreased.
This director admitted to me there were problems here as he tried to calm fears. And his statement as state spokesperson says, quote, we have both state and county staff working to understand the cause of the problem today. We are working to ensure people receive their food stamps as soon as possible.
I'm a cancer patient. I need these pills to survive. Okay?
Candace Bennett says her cancer medications have nearly run out, and after spending all day here, her Medicaid and her food stamps are both still on hold.
When are y'all gonna come through? When you gonna come through? When I'm on my last pill? Or better yet, when I'm dead? And then I won't need it.
State officials say that Clayton County office was closed Monday because of furloughs, and that could have contributed to the lines. They are investigating whether some sort of paperwork or computer problem might have led to some families getting their benefits cut off by mistake. Reporting at the live desk tonight, Justin Gray, Fox 5 News.
All right, Justin, thanks.
How about you strong, independent black queens stop having kids from Pookie and Ray Ray and get a job? Part of the responsibility of having kids is going to work to feed them or stop laying down with drug dealers who get 20 years in prison. It's so disgusting how these people just feel obligated to complain about not having food stamps. It's disgusting, degrading, and embarrassing. That's why most single moms vote for socialism, so the state can be their husband and support their bad choices in life. The biggest blame is the federal and state governments. Our laws only encourage this type of behavior. I believe that if you are able to work, then you should perform 40 hours of community service for your assistance. If you just give someone money for doing nothing, they will never work. How is it we have trash in our biggest cities but give out food stamps? If people had to do community service for food stamps, they'll be shamed to find a real job and stop being a leech. Holy shit, 6 kids fed by food stamps? Meanwhile, my single child has to watch me and my wife pay over $40,000 in taxes every year to support shitheads that don't know when to pull out or keep their legs closed. Idiocracy is coming true. The intelligent people are being outbred by stupid parasites.
All right, folks, tonight we're digging into newly released DFACS reports as an Atlanta mom faces murder charges in the deaths of her 1- and 2-year-old sons. Now, the documents offering new insight into the heartbreaking case from the perspective of the brother who survived, with some of the details too graphic to share on television. But our viewers have repeatedly asked for answers in this case to bring these little boys the justice they deserve. So we asked Ron Jones to take a closer look at the case.
According to the 73-page document obtained by 11 Alive News, no child should have witnessed what police say 3-year-old Jamil Penn Jr. did. In the report, the investigating social worker says when she began questioning Jamil Jr., he, quote, was smiling and made eye contact and says he was feeling good. When asked what he saw that horrible night through the eyes of a 3-year-old child, he stated, Jakarta and Tayman, or Kayante, died. Jamil Jr. was referring to his 1- and 2-year-old deceased brothers. When the DFACS investigator asked, what happened? The little boy said, they go on the stove themselves. He also stated he watched as they got on the stove. However, police paint a different picture, accusing their mother, Lamora Williams, of actually placing her babies inside the oven and turning the oven on. When the DFACS investigator asked the child if he and his baby brothers were left alone, the report states he looked around and did not answer, but then asked, can he go with his daddy? Also in the investigation, the boy's father, Jamil Penn Sr., gave a statement describing his strained relationship with their mom leading up to the boy's death. He told investigators they broke up about 4 months ago and they were not on good terms. And until the night of the alleged murders, he said, he haven't seen his children in 3.5 weeks, claiming Williams would not let him have contact with their kids. The DFACS investigator also writes Jamil Penn Sr. appeared to take some of the blame, saying he was in the area earlier in the day and thought about going to pick up the boys, but had decided against it.
This story is so tragic, touching so many folks. Ron, so there were reports. We had a reporter out there, and that reporter spoke to the family. The family said, hey, we knew there were problems. We reported it to DFACS.
According to later reports, the single mother did this because she felt overwhelmed having 4 kids. There's an easy solution for this. Maybe don't have kids you can't afford. At least the 3rd kid can live with his dad now. Leaving on bad terms with the single mother is like playing Russian roulette. Her anger and vengeance against you is going to be directed at your kids. That's why fathers should leave immediately and take their kids, because a lot of these women are unstable. Top comment says, so this is quite common. I was searching for more videos about this case and came up on other videos of several different mothers burning their toddlers alive in the oven. You should have to get a license to have children. This is sickening. Sadly, it is common, and the news that props up the feminist agenda will not report about it or make women look bad. Sad case, but she was probably going through postpartum depression, which happens a lot in mothers, especially in her case since her kids were so close together in age. It's not an excuse at all for the horrible crimes mothers do when they suffer from that, but it is something that should absolutely be recognized. People already making excuses for her. The single mother decided to have 4 kids. She wasn't forced to have them. She was just forced to live with her actions, and getting child support was still not enough. Having 4 kids is a full-time job, and feminists always misrepresent the single mom lifestyle as moms being superhuman, when in reality, they're overwhelmed by it all. Besides, women in the past had litters of kids, like 7 to 8 kids with much less. They actually had to cook and clean. There was no welfare and McDonald's on the homestead. Looking at the father, I am confused. I thought the boys were being kept away from him, so why didn't he say he could have stopped by but didn't? Do you see the problem here? These kids never had a choice. Rest in peace. No surprise, women are blaming the father. The kids were being kept from the father as in he had limited visiting rights. He probably didn't go and try to pick up his kids because his baby mama would have said no to spite him even though she was overwhelmed. That so-called father didn't care anything about his children. This woman had 3 of his children and he just walked away and never looked back. If he was a good father, the family would have called him instead of calling Child Protective Services. I wish it was a law to lock him up too. Again, single fathers, despite paying most of the child support, get limited visitation rights, as single moms can also claim he doesn't care about his kids. And let's say he's a deadbeat. Then why is she laying down with and having kids? Women control access to the bedroom and she had 3 of his kids, meaning she co-signed him 3 times. Bitches always find a way to blame someone else for their actions. As you see in the video, the single mom's priority is to create a thirst trap video, also known as a TikTok dance video, over actually raising her kid. These 2 modern women have no problem posting the video and embarrassing themselves and that kid. One of the top comments comes from a mother. I swear I turn around and my daughter is always right under my feet and I knock her down like 3 times a day. Yeah, that's great to hear. You can't shake small kids yet, according to her, she knocks over her daughter all the time. All these comments from other modern women are making light of the situation. WWE SmackDown, LOL. She didn't even fall that hard, they be so dramatic. This is insane. None of the top comments see anything wrong with potentially injuring the kid because criminal single mother's priorities is trying to get famous instead of actually being a mother. Another mother comments, I just act like nothing happened unless they actually cry, and usually they just keep acting like nothing happened too. It's just appalling how low the standards are these days. These mothers aren't just bad, they're dangerous around kids. The father of the child should get full custody of that kid in this video, because clearly the kid is just in the way of this single mom.
Have you ever loved someone so much you giving on for? Not the expression, no, literally giving on for. When they know they're your heart and you know you are.
That face of the baby says it all. That single mom, if she really is the mom and not a sister, looks super young, like she's 16. She's risking her child's health for TikTok fame. What if the snow covered up a sharp pointy rock or some sharp object? That kid could have gotten a life-threatening spine injury and be crippled for the rest of her life. No sane society would let someone like her raise a kid after seeing this video, but the anti-family courts don't care, as long as they get their child support money. The comment section of the video is full of women laughing at the situation. No surprise there. The betrayal. Can you use the you're done sound? She threw me like nothing. Yeah, most modern women view kids as an accessory to their life or a means to gain something. Laughing emojis. That's an influencer with 1 million followers and she saw nothing wrong with it, as in she influences other women.
Your future children, if you have any, do not consent to this material being public and available for other children to use as a bullying bludgeon against them.
Well, honestly, like anything you do can be used against your children.
Literally,
like us
people are
going to
bully
right
you. And you don't think that one is worse than the other?
Exactly.
You don't think that, you know, being on a podcast and talking about dating culture is like a little less embarrassing for a kid than their mother sucking dick on camera?
People should just be taught to not bully. If I have a kid one day and they're getting bullied, either I can take it to a private school, I can do homeschool, or I can just tell them to ignore it, or like go up to the kid and be like, don't bully my kid.
A lot of single moms are using OnlyFans to make money. They don't want to live with the consequences of their actions by getting pregnant by a random dude or a loser Tyrone and get a real job. Instead, they make the easy money by selling their souls. Just watch in 5 years. Sadly, there will be a ton of kids of OnlyFans models who will take their own life from the constant bullying they get for their single mom's decision. God hope these OF models took too many pills and become sterile, because no kid deserves that kind of shame. And like you saw in the TikTok video, many single moms make content with the kids in the background or nearby, basically breaking laws just to sell pics of their snatch for $5. And the crazy part is, most OnlyFans models barely make $200 per month. It's only the top 1% that make the hundreds of thousands and millions. So these women are selling their souls not even to get a bag. And it's a gateway to becoming a sex worker. When it's not making enough money, people in the DMs offer them more money for various favors. The top comment said, "It's not our fault. The other kids should learn not to bully. No accountability strikes again." Of course, feminists teach not to judge them, but just the men around them. This is why a lot of modern women support censorship. Go up to the bullying kid and tell him/her to stop. Yeah, those kids will scoff that off and tell you upfront about who you really are. These thoughts make things up on their own mind just so they can function properly. People should be taught to not bully equals asthma patients should just breathe. OnlyFans models think the world should cater to them, and it's hard not to believe that when they're making millions from simps. My mother was a hooker when she had both my sister and myself. She kept her occupation generally private from everyone. She knew she would use her occupation as a reason to bully us. She's not a hooker anymore, but she was always honest about it, and that's when she met both of our fathers. I'm grateful that I have a mother who was willing to be that upfront with me about her decisions, despite them not being considered very respectable by the rest of our family or general society. And that's the catch with OnlyFans. Can't make those millions in private. The internet is forever. So there's a price to pay making that type of fast money. At least back then, women were ashamed of what they did and kept it private. Now, OnlyFans is part of the Girl Boss Entrepreneur Starter Pack. They'll even lie to themselves by calling themselves business owners or entrepreneurs. Anything to not face the harsh reality. And according to the comments, it seems like the hooker mother had kids by accident from her clients. 2 different fathers probably paid extra to raw dog it and got more than they bargained for. I wonder if they have to pay child support or know that they were an unofficial donor.
Officials say the little boy is in the hospital in critical condition. Fox 5's Eric Perry is live outside Clayton Police Headquarters. And Eric, you just saw the mom being put into a police car.
Yeah, only our cameras were there. Good evening to you, Russ and Courtney. That 6-year-old fighting for his life in the hospital, broken bones, blood clots to the lungs, and bleeding to the brain. Only our cameras were there. Take a look as that mother, Portia Wells, was taken into custody. Here's what we know. Clayton County Police say Wells' boyfriend, Napoleon Aites, accused the 6-year-old of stealing money. Over the weekend, I'm told the boyfriend physically abused that child for days as his mother stood and watched. At one point, police say the boyfriend even told the mom to leave the room. So for days, I'm told, the boyfriend did nothing until that Sunday the boy fell unconscious and the mom decided to give him an ice bath trying to wake him up. That was unsuccessful. However, Monday and Tuesday, ordinary days for this mother. She went to work. I'm told she went and got her nails done. Her feet did as well. only to take him to the hospital yesterday. That's where Clayton County Police got that initial charge, that call to that hospital. The two face charges of child abuse. The mom faces additional charges of lying to police. She initially said she knew nothing about it or she wasn't there, but that turned out not to be the case there. So the mom, when we asked her questions on that perp walk to that escorted to the police car there, she didn't answer any of our questions. I asked if she had any remorse or anything like that. I can tell you her nails look freshly done, her feet look freshly done. They'll go with the handcuffs and the jumpsuit in the Clayton County Jail. Here's what we're working on tonight for 10 o'clock. We're digging deep into the boyfriend's background and what police say the message in all of this is. You'll want to join us for that tonight at 10. Unbelievable and heartbreaking story here in Clayton County. I'm Eric Perry, Fox 5 News.
Wow, a lot of observations there. Eric, thanks.
The anti-family courts make the father of the kids jump through all these loopholes along with making them pay child support just to see the kids supervised every other week, while any man the deadbeat mom dates can see the kids as much as he wants. So he can just have gotten out of prison or be on the Megan's list and courts won't care. Here, this bottom of the barrel single mom was probably desperate to date any man, and sadly, the innocent kid was the victim of her actions. It's hard to imagine anyone would have a kid with her in the first place. However, modern women, especially after they hit the wall, are one kid away from pulling a fat grenade. Their genes and genes hold on for life to look attractive for a man. The good news is that the thug will be dealt with in prison. Crimes against women and children are a death sentence. The top comment stated, "I'm getting sick and tired of seeing these weak-willed women allowing these demons to hurt their children. This is an epidemic. Single moms are the reason why a lot of kids get violated by other men. For the life of me, I will never understand how a mother can choose her man over her child. It's insane to me." Most single mothers chose to not abort their kids because they can use the kid to extort money from the father and collect welfare from the government. Her nails look freshly done. Her feet look freshly done. They'll go with the handcuffs and the jumpsuit in the Clayton County Jail. Dude nailed it, LMFAO. How much you want to bet she's using child support money to get her nails done? Probably using child support money to support the criminal living with her as well. Many divorce because the husband isn't making enough money, only to turn around and support a jobless thug, letting that boy suffer with his injuries. Unhumane, both of them. Both should get the capital punishment, but rarely does that ever happen to a woman. And this could have easily been prevented if the government didn't see the husband as dollar signs. The judge should be charged with accessory to the crime as well and go to prison.
She was always happy, always playing and smiling and laughing.
Pictures and happy memories. That's all neighbors have of 16-month-old Jailene Calendario.
I absolutely loved her. She was like a little sister to me.
Sulem and her mom Iris didn't want to show their faces. They said the first time they met Jailene was last August. They were supposed to watch her only a few days, but they said her mom didn't return for a month and a half.
I was the one calling her, look, I need milk, I need money. I don't have no money to buy milk for you, baby. What am I supposed to do?
Fast forward to this month, and Cristel Calendario is charged with her daughter Jailene's murder. Court documents show the 31-year-old admitted to leaving her baby home alone June 8th while she went on vacation to Puerto Rico and Detroit. When Calendario returned home 8 days later, police say she found Jailene unresponsive.
We were absolutely heartbroken. We loved Jailene a lot.
Iris and Sulem wish Calendario would have asked them to watch Jailene.
I wish for her to pay what she did to her daughter.
Instead, they're left with an investigation and reminders of Jailene's many visits.
Jailene really didn't deserve what happened to her. She was amazing and really adorable, and I miss her a lot.
Another single mom probably spent the child support money to go on vacation. Except these neighbors should be charged as well for not notifying the authorities and allowing the kid to starve. It's common sense. If the mother left and they can't afford food, then how can the little girl take care of herself? The top comment said, the fact that the neighbors cared more about her than her own mother did. So sad. Actually, it looked like the neighbors didn't call for help, so it seems like they cared that this irresponsible mother kept custody of the kid than actually helped the kid when she needed it most. I asked myself, how can a mother do this? It's just so hard for me to process this. I just had to cry it out because I honestly can't handle this story. It really, really broke me. If there's mercy in this world, I really hope she gets what's coming. She needs to pay for this in the most painful and most suffering way. With today's anti-culture of dehumanizing babies, especially in the womb, it's surprising more kids aren't left for dead. Some states now have post-birth abortion, meaning basically the same thing happens to the kid, but it's right after birth. The feminists fought hard for those rights. If you can afford a vacation, you can afford a babysitter. No, she shouldn't afford both because plane tickets to Puerto Rico are pricey, so choose a vacation over her daughter's life. Part of being an adult, like being an actual parent, is to sacrifice oneself for the kid's future. But today, thanks to feminists, kids are looked as an inconvenience to their hedonistic lifestyle.
Following breaking news right now, chilling details released in court documents tonight about the murders of a young brother and sister in Montgomery County. The children's mother admitting to police she stabbed her 7-year-old son and 3-year-old daughter. RTV6's Mike Pelton is live at the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department in Crawfordsville with the breaking details there. Mike.
Well, Jason, prosecutors late this afternoon filed 2 counts of murder, 2 charges against Brandy Worley in the death of her 2 kids. And in court documents just released late this afternoon, it shows the apparent motive was the fear of losing her kids and a pending divorce. 7-year-old Tyler and 3-year-old Charlie Worley were found dead inside their Darlington home on Thursday morning. Late Friday afternoon, court documents reveal what happened inside the Worley home. Authorities say Brandy Worley called 911 on Thursday, saying she stabbed herself and killed her 2 kids. In court records, investigators arrived to find the children with cuts to their neck. We discovered Brandy Worley's husband filed for divorce on Wednesday, and Brandy told investigators on Thursday, quote, "I did not want him taking them, so I stabbed them." Brandy Worley's husband was asleep at the time in the basement, and Brandy told investigators, quote, "I just wanted to die with them." Since the deaths, neighbors described to us a seemingly happy family. 7-year-old Tyler was a student at Sugar Creek Elementary. Court records show an autopsy revealed both kids died from stab wounds to their necks. And in court records, investigators say when Brandy Worley's husband came up from the basement, she told him, quote, "Now you can't take the kids from me." And Brandy Worley was taken to Methodist Hospital with a stab wound of her own. Late this evening, I spoke with the Montgomery County Sheriff. He tells me she remains at the hospital tonight. Upon Worley's release, she will come here to the county jail. In Montgomery County tonight, Mike Pelton, RTV6.
Heartbreaking for so many. Mike, thank you. The Worley family just released this statement saying, "We are shocked and saddened by the sudden loss of our beloved Tyler and Charlie. It meant the world to our family, and words cannot describe our feelings of devastation. We are thankful for the outpouring of support from our friends, family, and the community. We will grieve forever the loss of our precious little boy and girl."
This happens more commonly than people think. Most modern women miraculously lose full custody of their kids, and they have to be extremely incompetent for the courts to give full custody to the fathers. They usually kill their own kids in revenge. This woman stabbed her own kids, like a serial killer. She is one, actually. 50% of the kids are born today because of the benefits the single mothers would get by having them. This is why if you're going to divorce a modern woman, you have to keep it quiet and get the kids to safety before telling her the good news, because she will use the kids as a pawn for revenge or to make your life hell. The top comment said what we were all thinking. Any harm to children should be a death sentence. Anyone willing to do something so horrible to their children over something so feeble as losing custody should not be allowed to live. Because she's a woman, she'll probably get 20 years in prison and get out early because of good time. How did she look at her kids as she killed them? Damn, she must hate her husband more than she loved her kids. There's a saying, hell has no fury like scorned women. She was going to get rejected. And with the anti-family laws, it takes a lot for the guy to willingly risk his own well-being with the family courts to file for divorce. She didn't love her children at all. She murdered them just to hurt their father's feelings. A mother who does that is worse than a murderer. Many thoughts abort their kids in the womb. It's not that far of a leap to actually doing it out of the womb. Rule number 1. Never tell your crazy spouse your next move. If you're moving out, if you're going to take them to court for custody, if you want the kids, never, never, never. Prayers to this guy. My gosh. As stated earlier, with the level of entitlement and lack of accountability that modern women have, it's easy for them to do heinous acts. Their easy, pampered life is like being on heavy drugs. When that gets cut off cold turkey, they have withdrawals and become insane. She probably threatened to kill the kids to the husband if he were to divorce her and he didn't take her seriously. If these stories didn't make you go MGTOW or become a passport bro, nothing will. Just remember, there's no passport bro movement in other countries to get with American women, unless if there's a green card involved.
Son husbands, products of the single mother raised kid. That's basketball player kissing his mother. I have a mother. I don't kiss her like that. But the son husband is a direct effect of the removal of the masculine man who she could not maintain or chose to turn over his authority to sell you out for nickels and dimes. That community in particularly, 70% or better. He basically is going to assume the duties of the father who was removed or poorly selected by her. And he's going to give her all of that masculine energy up until a point. I won't say what else is going on. What she's going to do, she's going to keep him close as she would a husband. She's going to guilt him into supporting her because she highly likely is never going to get married ever again. But she's going to guilt him into being that lifelong support as a husband would be. She's basically going to sabotage any connections that man will have at selecting his mate because she knows that is her means of support going forward.
That's not his girlfriend, but his thought mom, hugging him like they're high school sweethearts. The more shocking aspect of this is that she's attractive, yet defaults to treating her son like her husband. This is going to get way more common once the thirst trap models on social media become single moms. One lady commented, "I don't think anyone has an issue with your son picking you up, just that it appears you're straddling your son. You're also dressed pretty sexy for a high school football game. You're a very good-looking young mom with a son in high school. You look amazing and look like you work hard for your physique, but I doubt the same issues would present themselves if you dressed a little differently for a high school football game. To each their own." Another one noted, "The reason why you received so much negativity is because this is so uncomfortable to watch. It's not natural. If a father and daughter dynamic was this bizarre, people would be reporting the man." A man finally pointed out the obvious. For some mothers, when a man's not in the picture, the son is mistaken for one. That guy's future wife doesn't stand a chance. If being pegged as a mama's boy isn't enough to hinder his ability to have a healthier relationship with women, his mom will at least inadvertently sabotage his relationships. The only differing opinion about this weird relationship the thought mother has with her son are the single moms who do the same. There's no debate after looking at the video that it could have easily been mistaken for a relationship. If you look at her IG page, it's full of her living up the thought IG lifestyle, with racy photos and pics of her at the club with her friends. She finally posts a pic of her with another man and someone comments, "You ain't gotta post pictures of you messing around with other guys to prove you ain't getting your back blown out by your 15-year-old son." Another person commented, "The town bicycle." She's going to put this young man in a bad situation in public where he has to defend her honor or the lack of because someone's going to make a disrespectful comment. And if he backs down, it'll only get worse for him.
Sunday is Father's Day, but this is a highlight about Mom, Wanda, and Kevin. They've been linked certainly throughout his NBA career, 2007 NBA draft when it all began. Like most mamas, she's right beside him at the table with a hug and a kiss. Second overall pick. 2012 NBA Finals.
Look at that threesome.
Wow. There she is in the tunnel after his squad lost to the Heat. And then he was named MVP in 2014.
And last, my mom.
You made us believe. You kept us off the street, put clothes on our backs, food on the table. When you didn't eat, you made sure we ate. You went to sleep hungry. You sacrificed for us. You the real MVP.
And then back to Monday night, a man in full, in complete control. You visualize this in the Hamptons last summer. Fadeaway three later in the fourth. And as it was happening, emotions started to overcome not only Mom, but even Kevin. The game's not over yet at this point. But they knew it was coming, and it did.
You hit me?
Yep.
No matter what nobody say, look at me. You did it.
Kevin.
I'm proud of you.
Mom, I'm almost 30. Don't be grabbing my chin hair saying, look at me. Finals MVP.
Talk about your mom and the influence she's had. I'll give you one final opportunity to maybe express some sentiments to her here.
We did it. I told you when I was 8 years old, we did it. Yeah.
Mother and son, Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant's mom optimizes the single moms who have son husbands. She acts like she's the one who taught him to dunk, when the only credit she gets is spreading the legs for the right man, as Kevin won the genetic lottery. His father must have been drunk when getting with her because she looks like Pookie who stole middle schoolers' bikes to support his crack habit. Sure, she did keep him off the streets as they grew up poor, but that's the bare minimum as today's women want to get credit for doing what responsible parents should do. Maybe if she stayed with his father, Kevin would have had a better life growing up, because after all, two parents working a minimum wage job each would make enough money to be lower middle class, instead of Section 8 housing welfare poor. Her thirst for attention embarrassed him in front of the whole world, when it's supposed to be his spotlight and his time to shine. Grabbing his chin hair like he's a boy, cock-blocked him for the rest of his life. And the top commenters, not surprising women, celebrates this. I love the way he loves his mom. You think this is rare until American women see nothing wrong with this because they don't know any better. That's a beautiful woman there. If everyone's mom backed up their kids as much as Wanda does, this world would have some very confident kids. There's nothing beautiful about a mom stunting her son's growth, and these women calling her beautiful is a typical white lie most women do. If Durant's mom was actually beautiful, some man would stick around and she wouldn't be desperate to raise a son husband. Why is it you don't see Stephen Curry's mom getting credit for his success? Compared to the NBA, he's at 6'3", which is short, so he had to become revolutionary to be great. Because Curry's mom does need to interject herself to validate her existence because she stayed with a quality man who mentored Stephen to be an NBA MVP. Kevin Durant is the 1% of the 1% of men out there. He's super rich, famous, obviously over 6'2", maybe too skinny, but there are women who genuinely are attracted to tall, skinny men. And so you'd expect him to be married to an amazing, beautiful woman with amazing kids. But he's not. Despite Durant having all of these positives, the top shelf women are staying clear from him because sadly, he's not a man.
You're teaching him what you think it means to be a man or love a woman from a woman's perspective. And a lot of men struggle with that. You feel, again, that you've done your role and you raised me to be this way, but this is not what women are actually looking for. So they get out here and they try to date or marry, have kids, and they're struggling.
The son husbands only know how to simp because their single mom raised them that way, to respect all women. And sadly, they won't learn until a modern woman takes full advantage of them.
1, 2, 3, get money!
So, you ready?
Yes, I am.
What you gonna do?
I'm gonna kill a stage.
You gonna kill a stage?
My name is Amir. I'm 7 years old, and I know how to rap.
You want to speak to this?
Yes, I have no problem speaking. First of all, you're a very nice young man. You know that. No one likes hitting the X on a 7-year-old. You're very brave to get up there at 7 years old.
Oh.
No. Sorry. Oh.
That's a mean man.
The kid dresses like a thug who busted a nut in his single mom, and that's no accident. Single moms often dress and model their son after the man they always wanted. And worse, the son husbands are their single mom's lottery ticket. Like this kid. She puts all her hopes and dreams on her son's shoulders to provide for her what she can't get a man to do. This kid said if he received $1 million, he'd take care of his family. The kid knew from young. Majority of athletes or entertainers who are raised from a single mom eventually go broke because they spend their first big check lavishing up their mama with a new house and a new car, before they enjoy the spoils of their hard work.
There's no way you should be able to come to your mother's house with a part-time job and sit down comfortably. You should be ashamed to come to their house that way. Your pride should bother you. How much are you paying in rent?
I'm not.
Huh?
Not.
Say what?
I'm not.
You have a car?
Yes, sir.
Who bought that?
I pay half. My mother paid the other half of it.
Do your mother have a boyfriend?
Not to my knowledge. Well, technically, but not
so
really.
you're a son boy. So you're a son husband.
I remember you spoke about this in a few episodes.
I'm going to do all you son husbands a favor. Don't call my show. It's not going to go well for you.
If a single mom is financially stable, she will baby her sons up to his adult years to keep him in her radius. This also stunts the son as he becomes the stereotypical loser who lives in his mom's basement. If he is an average male, it could definitely keep him a virgin past his 20s. It's so sad because these son husbands are being emotionally abused by their moms and they can't even see it. The single mom will even fake an illness to keep her son from leaving the nest, wasting his life away so she's not alone. I know a dude like this. His mama take him to work and pick him up every day faithfully. That's her son husband. A mom should be there for emergency help, like if the son gets in an accident or goes bankrupt, then she can help him back to his feet, but not provide him an easier life. This is cringe, especially when the mom shakes her ass. And this influencer has built a following by doing dances with his mom. One of the top comments, "Is she looking for a daughter-in-law?" And someone in the know responded, "I don't know, she might turn into your competition." Exactly. If he's not gay, his mom is not going to like anyone who comes between their relationship. Imagine at his wedding in the future, they pull this out for the mother and son dance. His looks are the only reason why women are giving him attention, and no matter how dysfunctional Chads and Tyrones are, modern women are drawn to them like flies on shit.
Well, I told him it was, at first I told Carlos that I'm sorry, I don't know how you react to this. I'm your mom and you're my son, and I am falling in love with him. He said, "Are you really?" I said, "Yes, I am." He said, "You know what? I was scared to let you know too. I am too." He was too, falling in love with me, with his mom, and I was falling in love with my son. And then we ended up talking, and we took off to the park, and we ended up asked him, "Will you ever date your mom?" And he said, "Will you date your son?" I said, "Honest truth, yes, I would. Because 19 years, you're the best thing that ever happened to me, and I really want to be with you the rest of my life." And I really want to be with them. It's kind of hard right now, but I don't care what people say because we're going through a lot right now. We try to keep it a secret, but we couldn't do it no more because, you know, my other kids found out. At first, they didn't like it. Then they started liking it. They're accepting it. And my mom, my dad, my brothers, my family's accepting it now. This girl found out. So it was across the street from me, and there's a big old fight started, and she called me. She called my son Joseph something and let me know across the street, and she told me I better watch my back because I'm being incest. I'm not being incest. And she was outside cussing me out, so I went and go get everybody out of my house, and she got her family. We got stabbed, beaten up, jumped. Ambulance showed up. It was me, Carlos, and the kid's uncle got stabbed because the incest, because she made a big deal out of all of this. So we went to the hospital, we got stitches, came back home, and on that side, her family didn't get arrested at all. So I don't know why nobody didn't get arrested at the time. So we came back home, took a shower. The cops took, first the cops at the hospital, the cops took pictures of where we got cut, sliced. And after that, we came home, took a shower and stuff. Then we sit back, and I broke down crying. I told Carlos, what we're going to do is going to hit all over the world. I said, there ain't no way I can leave you. And he said, don't worry, I'm going to still be with you, no matter through thick and thin. And that's what we're going through right now, through the thick. And I'm going to still be with him. I have to. I'm going to have to, because there ain't no, if I get out of prison, and if he don't get sentenced, if I get in prison, if I get out, I will move out of Clovis, and I will get a state that will accept us in it. I've been going through a lot on the streets and in public, and it's kind of hard because it's public record here in Clovis. They can find out where I live and stuff, and this is going through a lot. And I really can't go to the store. I can't go public. I can't see my other kids. I can't see him. They call me, I'm sick. I'm incest. And it hurts a lot. And you know what I mean? It messes with my mind a lot. The other moms don't understand. They're not going through what I'm going through. It'd be different if they were. Like I said, I didn't raise him for 19 years. It feels like a new person, and my love came back in my life. I've been waiting for all these years. It feels like he's my man, and he does, you know what I mean? Sometimes I call him Hinojito, as that means son in English. And he sometimes, once in a while, he calls me mom. You know what I mean? It don't get to him or get to me. Actually, I feel like more than his lover, because it got so deep. And it feels kind of, at first kind of felt weird, but now it don't feel weird at all to me because I love him so much.
This takes Son Husband to a whole new level, literally. If there wasn't a law against it, a lot of deadbeat single moms would try to take their relationship with their son to the next level. There's a reason why incest is illegal, because if you thought the West is de-evolving now, add inbreeding and society would outright collapse. The 36-year-old who didn't raise Peterson saw him for the first time in 18 years last Christmas when she picked him up at his adoptive father's house in Texas and brought him to her home after the pair got in touch over Facebook. It's not surprising that after 18 years of being single, her last desperate attempt to have a relationship was with her son. It felt like I met somebody new in my life and I fell in love with him, she explained. Maybe the son was just unlucky to be the only man who actually stuck around after the first night, so in her eyes, he was the one. At first, the couple lived happily together in Mars' mobile home with her two youngest children, Uriah and Joseph, keeping their relationship a secret from the world. Mars' youngest son even began calling Peterson Dad. A mobile home is not that big, and despite if the door to the bedroom is closed, the kids probably heard some moaning to say the least. This is going to screw up the innocent kids for a lifetime. The couple was charged with incest, a 4th-degree felony in New Mexico. Hopefully, the mother's punishment should be a court order to stop having kids, but it gets worse. Dayton Chavez, Mars' ex and father to two of her sons, Moses, 9, and Joseph, 12, says he supports Mars and Peterson's relationship. There are actually simps out here who will support these actions of a deadbeat single mom. Some of the comments on the article, when you think you've already heard it all. With society going the way it is, it'll probably get even worse. Ew. Seriously, please lock this woman up. This may be given some ridiculous scientific name, but let's all be honest, this is just wrong on so many levels. I'm trying to understand some of the basic human feelings here, but let's be honest. A sexual relationship with your offspring is wrong on many levels. Please give all concerned some serious therapy so that they may move on in a normal fashion and not ruin all their lives. Yet, the anti-family court gave this woman full custody of her kids after she gave up the first one for adoption. After passing through the ick factor, I feel intensely sorry for these two people. They're likely too poor to get the therapy they need. Plus, New Mexico is one of the poorest states in the US. And after this feeling passes, which it likely will, they will both likely experience isolation from their community, extreme guilt, and depression, which again, when left untreated, can be extremely dangerous. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you'll get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, drop a comment, and share it. See you in the next video. Till next time.